Here we go. See how this works. I'm going to try to do a report here. I've already got my photos uploaded over here. I've actually already gone through and added my cover photo, standards of practice, my InterNACHI license. Right here, inspection type. This is X'd out. You can see I only use this typically for a limited inspection or well and septic inspection. And then this button right here, the magic wand with the plus, that adds this down here. So that can stay there forever if I'd like. Limited inspection. So I'm lazy with some of this stuff. I should have done a lot of this in the past. Anyways, type of building, single family. None of this is required. This is just additional stuff. I couldn't find the age of this home. It's not listed. So I just X'd it out. You could go down here to unknown, or we can just X it out. Unknown sounds like we don't know. I don't like to sound like I don't know. So we'll just click that. Temperature, the weather, clear, wildfire smoke. I made that up. You can see I got radon test in here twice. I can get rid of this here by going up to delete, or is it edit? Edit. I think I did it right the other way. Sometimes I just don't mess with this stuff. Well inspected, septic inspected. In attendance, we didn't have anybody, so I X'd that out. We did a bacteria test, and radon not tested. Alright, we can start with our photos. Already got the cover photo in. I always start with exteriors, as you know. I'm using my thumb. I know you can't see my thumbs here, but instead of using the mouse touchscreen, you can use your thumb. And as you can see, when you click inspected, it highlights this blue. I only do that when I'm ready to put in photos. So here we go. The siding photo. Got a window that I know later I found some moisture damage that I didn't find initially. So I'm using my right finger to click now on about right here on this bar. If you keep clicking over here, you're going to click inspected, and then you're going to take that off there. So after I click inspected, from now on I'm clicking on this blue bar to re-highlight wall cladding, flashing, and trim. Double tap on the photo, plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. And I'm using my left finger, pointer finger, to click the OK button right here. Now you can click enter, or you can use your finger to push on the OK button, which is what I typically do. I already put this photo in, so I'll click the X and not put it in twice. Front porch, doors. I'm not going to put another window picture in. So for the front porch, we've got some unlevel steps. Now your left arrow is automatically always highlighted. So when you click on the photo, you put in a left arrow. You can change it to a right arrow, up, down. You can make a box, a circle, draw a line. You can put a text in there. So I'm going to click OK. These are also unlevel. Insulation, ventilation. I do jump around a little bit, guys. I'm not going to lie. I could do better at stacking my photos, but I really don't need to. Now this picture, my camera was a little bit sideways, so it took the photo and switched it. That's my photo for this valve was not working. Propane tank, Main shut off. Got an egress window well. It's got some screen over it preventing you from escaping. And the framework is not secured. Exterior outlets. See how I stack these photos somewhat together? So for this, you've got this basically disclaimer here. That's always tab 1. In section 5.0, it's always tab 1. You add a new tab right here with this plus button. So you can add a bunch of new tabs, and then you got to delete them one at a time. But you can rearrange them. So this is tab 1. Always move it to the end. Now this photo, this hose bib, I don't need to put that in my report. It's just to show I did test all the exterior hose bibs, which is required by InterNACHI standards of practice. We got our AC. This is how all my AC photos typically look. One shows the whole picture, one is just the brand, and one is the data plate for my reference. Electrical, the generator, I always put it under service entrance conductors because it is the main power supply if the power goes out. Now I can put my bathroom fan and my dryer on the same tab. And the reason why is I go to bathroom exhaust fan, I just go in here and add dryer. Of course, we need to change this to R. Bathroom exhaust fan and dryer are vented to the exterior. So I put them on the same tab. Come down here, these little buttons scroll through your photos. So bathroom exhaust fan and dryer, they're in the right order with the comment. Now I can just click on this and I can move it to the front, make this photo number 1 now. You'll notice now it's photo number 1 and that's photo number 2. Or I can click on this again, move it to the front. Now this photo is number 1. I decided to get fancy, seems how my buyer isn't present. I wanted to give him more photos, so I've got an eaves, soffit, and fascia photo. Don't need that, but I can put it in there. I've got some loose siding here, unsecured siding. I took this photo for reference, move the reference photo to the front. Well inspection. Oh, I found some cracked siding. Maybe I'll put it on another tab. I could have put it on this tab, but when I write this up as maintenance here, this loose siding, if I had this on the same tab, I would be saying that this needs maintenance. Does a hole in the siding need maintenance? Yeah, probably should be. I'm just not going to make a big deal about it. I think just mentioning it is enough. Here's my reference photo for where that's located. I'm going to make the picture extra large. So right here is that crack. Make it small again. Reference photo. Move the reference photo to the front. Good to go. Moving on. I need to add. So down here under optional, this is where all your optional services are. I clicked here on optional. I forgot to add the detached garage. Now you can see detached garage here has become blue. So it's available now for me to go into it. We go to overview and we put double click on the cover photo. Now we've got a cover photo of the garage. I never have anything for styles and materials in here. So we'll just go back to inspection items right here. Same process with the garage. I've got my siding. Here's doors. Go back to siding. Siding. Oh, here we've got some damage to the trim, the wood trim, corner trim. Windows, and then there's my last siding photo. So you can see it didn't slow me down much by taking these door photos here. So I took this photo here from this angle, and why didn't I walk around to the other side, get all four siding photos in a row? Because the time walking would, yeah, it'd be faster in my report by 0.01 seconds, but I'm spending more time at the inspection. I'm spending more time on scene. So I take the photos sometimes as I go, and remember, I'm I'm still under detached garage. Everything I need for the detached garage is right here. So it doesn't take that much more time to click here, add a photo, click here, add a photo, click here, add a photo, click here, add a photo. Now it's nice when you can, for example, click on wall cladding, flashing, and trim, come over here and just add four photos right in a row, bang, 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 bang. But again, it's not going to save me that much time. Now to start, it might save you time in the report because you're going to be hunting for where you're putting the photos. So instead of hunting all over in this detached garage area for where am I putting these photos, it will save you time by having your photos stacked up here. I hope this makes sense. If I take my wall cladding and then wall cladding, so my four photos of wall cladding in a row, I'm stacking them one, two, three, four. I click this wall cladding, I come over here, click, 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 I click four photos into this section of 14.8. So you can see where that would save you time because opened, you've already selected this, so you've added four photos right in a row. For me, I know where all these categories are, so it doesn't really save me that much time. Here I am, interior walls. Here we got the door operator and the reverse sensors. Now we're going to roof structure. You can see how fast we can throw these in. I wanted to make this a little bit brighter. I do that right here. Just make the brightness a little bit brighter. The reason why is because I took this photo with the overhead door open. This photo here I took with the door open, then this one was with the door closed, so it wasn't as bright. Branch bracket circuit conductors, branch circuit connected devices and fixtures. Fancy way of saying outlets. Now I'm going to roof covering. Take a handful of roof covering photos. I don't need a ton. I took this roof photo from the garage, didn't end up using it. Now we're back to the roof on the house. This flashing, it's all sealed up with caulk. I peeled that caulk up. Now you can see this flashing terminates below the row of shingles here. There's absolutely no need for this caulking. I peeled that caulking off the top of that flashing to just look and make sure that the upper part of this flashing was under this row of shingles here, and it was. So this caulking is useless. People just don't know enough to know that they don't know. So now we're on the back side of the roof here. Now I'm going to make a tab because my first comment's going to say this roof looks fine, but there are a few nail pops here that need to be taken care of. Now we're into the septic. There's both lids open. The inlet pipe and inlet pipe and inlet baffle. I'm going to use visible inspection of inside the tank for this photo. Here, I'm going to label this inlet baffle. Now, let's open this. This right here is the inlet baffle. This is the inlet pipe. This is just a little like 4-inch concrete separation wall that holds the solids in over here so that if you were to release a bunch of water here into the septic, this wall is going to stop the liquid from mixing and causing a big slurry and mixing the solids up in the effluent liquid. So that's the whole design of a baffle. Now you can see I clicked the X there and it got rid of my arrows. If I were to add these arrows and then click OK, it's going to save the arrow and it's going to save the picture as big or extra large, I should say. So I can make it small, medium, large, extra large. All these photos should be small, but if you click X, it doesn't save anything. Let's add in our outlet baffle. This is a concrete outlet baffle. I'm just going to label it outlet baffle. This here is a photo. I'm just going to show where the drain field is over here. All right, now we're inside. Watch how fast this goes. Ceilings. All right, we got windows, floors, railing. Now technically these stairs do not have a graspable railing. You could say this is railing, hand railing, but it's not graspable. So I'm just going to give them a note that this is not considered a graspable railing. Walls, more floors, counters and cabinets. Now I think you could understand now why stacking your photos, I'm just in the floors section here, or interiors section rather. And I can go back and forth. I'm using my left hand to click over here, and I'm using my right hand to click the photo in, and I'm using my left hand down here to click OK. So that's how I add those in so fast. Let's see, what do we got for ceilings? 6 photos. Now if you go to preview, and we'll just go to ceilings, you can see you can put 6 photos in a row here. If you add a 7th one, it drops the photo down into the center and it makes your report longer. So that's unneeded. We really don't need more than 5 to 6 photos is plenty. Here we had a little bit of moisture damage to the wall above the shower insert. Now I'm into electrical. So the kitchen or the bathroom was good. The kitchen, the left hand outlet is not GFI'd. It was loose at the wall. So this is my photo for that outlet is loose. I can add a little note right here. This just reminds me it's also good for the client. Now we're back into plumbing. So you can see I added a tab. I shifted over to the left. Now my blank tab is number 1. That tab I had earlier for the uh, hose bib that wasn't working is now number 2. And then here we go. Now here's a little trick. I'm under plumbing, water supply, distribution systems, and fixtures right here. I added this photo and then I scrolled down a little bit. I could just add this photo. I could click here and add this photo, or while I'm already here, I might as well add these 2 photos, right? I don't even need to move this. And you can move this by just taking your finger, or you can use your mouse, hold it up. You can add the photo in this way by drag and drop, that's slow. Or you can move by clicking here, or you can take your finger and just put it on your screen and move it up and down. which is what I like to do. But anyways, you see how it was easier for me just to add, I'm right here, water supply. I can move this down just a little bit, grab these two photos without ever moving off of water supply. Then I can reach up here, grab my plumbing drain photo. My next one is, guess what? Plumbing drain. But we found an issue with this, so I need a second tab. This pipe is crooked. It's not causing any issues, but it's crooked. So you can see that's why I got two tabs. Now this thermostat photo, I realized as I was walking into the bathroom that I hadn't turned the AC on. So this is my photo of the temperature setting upon arrival. So I turned up the AC. Here's my reminder photo that this pipe is crooked. I'm going to add a tab because we got drain stops in the bathroom. Both the bathroom and the tub were not functional. Now we're back to electrical, smoke detectors. Here's an interior light that was not functional, needs a bulb. Now we're down here doing a well inspection. So I'm going to add that. Here's my pressure switch photo, which shows the pressure switch open. I don't need that photo in the report. I'm going to cut it out. 40 to 60. So you can see on the pressure switch, it's labeled right here, 40 to 60. I don't need that photo in the report. All right, we got some plumbing in the basement that's ready for a basement bathroom with the sanitary crock. I'm just going to give them a note. Now I'm going to go to the exterior window, egress window, because we've got some moisture staining here because the inside of this down in here, I don't know if you can see it very good. There's a bunch of moss down here. There's no cover on this egress window. So the moisture is splashing off of this moss and sand. You can kind of see it a little bit in this. See this moss and sand? So moisture splashing off that. There's no damage right now, but it could happen. So here now we're back to structural basement foundations, just like interiors. Look at this. You can get rid of crawl space, you can get rid of slab. So you got foundation, floor structure, wall structure, columns, and piers. You're going to take care of all of this. One, two, there's no photos for wall structure. You could add photos, but I never have. So you got basement, floor structural, and columns and piers. So watch this. This is why I stack my photos. One, two, three. I'm going to add a tab. These were cracks that were sealed. There's no displacement, no movement. So I'm just going to note it, give my opinion. Now I'm in floors. Now I'm in columns and piers. Now I decided I wanted to take another plumbing photo. There it is. Now I'm like, okay, I'm in plumbing. I might as well take care of the rest of the plumbing in the basement. Here's the main water shutoff valve. Here's the hot water heater. Why not? I'm already on plumbing. I might as well knock out all the plumbing in the basement. There's no sump pump, but there's a sump crock. We're going to go back to the well inspection photo. So we actually, for training purposes, we shut the well pump off. We emptied the pressure tank. So there was no water in the pressure tank. We took a pressure uh, gauge and we tested the pressure tank. We had about 27 pounds of air in this tank. It's a 40 to 60 switch. So we're low on air. So we're going to be impressive and we're going to tell the buyer, hey, pressure tank needs some air in it. Now we're in appliances. Here we're at the range. That burner didn't work. Goes on a different tab. There's my photo. Here's my photo I love to see when I get home. Me having all these valves turned off. I don't need that photo for the report. It's just for me. Exhaust hood. There isn't one. We have a gas range, so we should have one. Refrigerator. Ice cold. 0 degrees in the freezer. Dishwasher not inspected. It's not hooked up. Now we're testing the AC. Here's our ambient air test with our air coming in at 42, air going back into the return at 65. Here's our thermostat. Oh, that's actually the thermostat for the furnace. Let's see, do I have a thermostat picture? I, I probably don't have one. A good photo for the AC would be to have a photo here under normal operating controls showing that you adjusted the temperature down to, like, let's say 68. It was 73 in the house, just at 5 degrees down. Put it in here. You could always go to it and say, oh, look, here I set it at 68. You know, you don't have to, but that's just, it's nice to put it in a report. So here's our electric panel. Here's a photo I take kind of up close so I can see it's 150 amp service. Now, the AC has a 15 amp breaker. You'll see later on I go outside and I look at the data plate and determine that I'm pretty sure that that needs a 20 amp breaker. I don't know that I've ever seen a 15 amp breaker, 240 volt breaker for an AC. Here I was getting carried away, jumping around a little bit. Um, we'll go, actually this, so I'm looking at this, I've got a leaking washer discharge hose. I could put that under plumbing, but my comment for the washer and dryer, you can see, is that there's no apparent leaks. Well, I already know I got to get rid of that. I'm going to add this in there. Now I got my finger in here, so I don't need an arrow and a finger. How about just one or the other? Preferred just an arrow. I don't like my finger in the picture. Jumping around. Insulation under the floor structure. You can see I took a picture of the furnace twice. You can really get yourself all turned around. I was doing a lot of teaching with Kaysen on this one. I took a photo of the air filter size. I don't need this in the report, but I did inspect the filter. It's a 14 by 20. Now I've got ending photos of the septic, the water level here. I could put this in. Probably not going to help the client much to have that in there, so. Right here is when I noticed I went outside, and that's when I noticed, when I was looking at the septic, I noticed this damage right here. So I'm going to come back later, check it with my ladder. Alright, I'm looking at the air conditioner now. Actually under electrical, branch breaker, distribution. Right here, you can see, now I'm confused, minimum supply circuit ampacity, 14 amps. Maximum fuse circuit breaker size, 20 amps. Minimum fuse circuit breaker size, 20 amps. Up here it says it's 206 to 230 volts, so we need a double pole breaker. Here we've got a double pole breaker. What caught my attention here was I seen this 15 amp breaker with 12 gauge wire. And I thought, well, 12 gauge wire goes to a 20 amp breaker. So what is this? And then I looked and saw that it was for the AC, and I thought that was strange. So um, I'm going to do a little more research on this before I write it up as an issue. Might as well do it right now and let you know. Does a Rheem central air conditioner require a 20 amp breaker? Requires a depends entirely on the specific model. Locate the data plate. Find the rating using a silver or white sticker on the side. Check the MCA and MOP, minimum circuit ampacity size, and the maximum overcurrent protection, sometimes listed as max fuse. The MOP tells you the maximum size breaker. Okay, so I think we're good because this is the maximum. Oh, well, right here, minimum, minimum circuit ampacity. That's this. Maximum overcurrent. So this is maximum overcurrent. This is minimum circuit ampacity. That's this. So its minimum circuit's 14. So that's fine. This is good. I don't need to even talk about that. It's oversized wiring, and you can have oversized wiring. So here we go. Moving on. Furnace. Usually 5 photos, serial number, my safety. Kaysen just loves loose outlets. I'm throwing gang signs to remind myself that is at the west bedroom. Don't need it. Heating. You can be much more effective stacking photos. This is kind of a reminder photo. There was no ductwork at the loft. I don't think it needs it, so I'm not even going to mention it. I'm going to X out of that. This is my photo of me leaving the thermostat where I had it. Exterior, there's that window. Damaged. And that's it. Now I can go right into find first right here. Basement. I'm just going to move satisfactory because cracks in the wall doesn't seem satisfactory. So there are typical settling cracks in the foundation. Let's see. There was no sign of displacement, and this is not. There was no sign of displacement or water intrusion. These cracks do not appear to be a structural concern. My computer decided it wanted to go low battery mode on me, so bear with me, I'm plugging it in. This is my second report right in a row. Taking a little longer than normal, doing a lot of talking. Floors, not visible due to insulation comment. Structural walls, see I don't need photos, but I got them. It's going to say the support columns are in overall satisfactory condition. There is no attic space. I need to change this comment. Let's do it now so you can see how it's done. So I put an X, I selected this, it puts an X over here. I go to edit. There was no attic the as the ceilings are vaulted. Roof structure examined from the interior and exterior showed no visible defects or moisture damage. I've needed to correct this comment for 10 years. I just did it. That's how fast. So edit. You can see this is the title. You just go in here and type what you want. Click OK. Double click on it. Boom. Puts it in the report. Styles and materials. Poured concrete. We got wood floor joists. We got wood support. Wood support. Roof structure is going to be, it's going to be a scissor truss or a rafter, and we don't know. It's one of the two, most likely a scissor truss, but it's not visible. It's a gable roof. There's no attic. There's no crawl space, so we just click the X right here. Find next. Vinyl siding is in overall good condition because we got two things to talk about. Siding is unsecured at the south east corner. Recommend securing siding. Put a maintenance on it. There is a small crack in the siding at the east side of the home. Leave it at that. Trim soffit and fascia. Entrance doors. I think there's only one. Yeah, there's only one entrance door. One entrance door. Some moisture damage to the window. I think it's more trim than frame. Window trim at the west. There is moisture damage to the west facing. Moisture damage to the trim at the west facing window on the main floor. Egress window well has steel screen covering the escape. This is not recommended. Also, window framing is unsecured from the home and is weathered from the elements. We recommend installing Let's see how that reads. Egress window. This is steel strip covering the skin. Also, the window frame is unscrewed from the home and is weathered from the elements. The open window well or lack of a cover is allowing moisture to splash off the interior of the well and causing moisture staining to the interior window framework. There's no damage during inspection. You may consider staining wood framework and installation of cover. I like that. Front porch is in overall satisfactory condition. Stain. Grading comment. Actually, I wanna correct this one too, because I've been grading is relatively flat and may not necessarily drain away from the home. This is where I was supposed to change it. Grading is relatively, you know what we can do? Instead of doing all that, just go like this. Oh, there's a couple ways. Click the magic wand, or you can copy this, double click, edit, highlight, paste, boom. Click OK, cancel out of this. Now if we go back in here, it's all there now. Another way to do it is to just type the comment here, click the magic wand, title it, click OK, and then a box is gonna pop up and ask you where you want to put it. Just click cancel on that, because it's going to put it where you have it right now. It's gonna put it right here in this autofill spot. I'm gonna say it's in good condition. I think it's about 20 years old. Here's my comment here. Sometimes you just gotta take the closest thing you got. No gutters. Walk where able, ladder, find next. Now I didn't use this comment here about drain stops because there were no drain stops in the bathroom. Drain pipe under the bathroom sink is improperly installed. The pipe is slanted and the standpipe, how do I want to say it? Trap and compression fitting is angled. Does not appear causing any issue that is recommended to be corrected. Twenty 2023, 40 gallons. We got copper. Pretty sure they're all copper. Go look at this photo here. Yeah, it's all copper plumbing. PVC, electric. Mm, Standards practice, we are to tell them where the main disconnect is located. Branch breaker distribution, this would be like oversized breakers, undersized wires, double taps, things like that. Now I should add this in because I seem to type it a lot. See, this is where you're going to cancel that because it's going to automatically put it in here. It's going to drop it all the way to the bottom. We're going to move it up right here. And cancel that. Now the reason this says GFCI outlets in kitchen and bathroom were tested and functioning because there were GFI outlets over here to the right of the sink that were working. It's just this outlet was not GFI'd. They were hardwired. No, service entrance conductors. It's copper coming into this panel. That goes right here. It's underground, it's copper. Capacity, 200 amp. Yeah, you could click copper here too, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I put it under service entrance conductors. So square D, circuit breakers, we had copper wiring. Actually, I need my old furnace comment. This was a 2005, I believe. Yep, right there, '05. So I need this comment. Decided I wanted to be a little more strict about that. I believe it was a 2023. '25, so it's only a year old. Now you notice I skipped this tab on accident and there was not a blue check mark right here. So if I was to go past it and click find first, it's going to bring me back to this. It won't let you skip it. If you stare too hard at this picture, you won't be able to tell if it's going down or up. Don't know what kind of insulation. Insulation is present in the header boards. I already put that comment in there. Got unknown. It was propane. I did put a R on this. I typically would not. I know it seems strange that I would sometimes and not other times. But this gentleman requested um, a little more thoroughness, I suppose you could say. Oh, I thought I put that. Did I leave it in here? Where did I put that? I might have. Now, when you use the photo, there it is right there. When you use the photo, it turns this like blurry and you get a little check mark here. So I went back to find it and noticed I must have deleted it out of that other tab. So you can see I plugged it in. It's now gone blurry here. Change my date. Change this to 60. Kind of want to put this in bold, guys. Like bold, italics, underlined. I don't know. Italics make no. Like just bold and like maybe bold and red. I'm totally kidding, but I'm kind of serious. This is a word game, guys. When you say the tank does not require immediate pumping services, that's a lot different than the tank does not require, or the tank does not need to be pumped. If you said the tank does not need to be pumped, that sounds like the tank never needs to be pumped. It just doesn't need to be pumped right now. So we got to be careful how we use our language. So we measured it with a stick. 1200 gallon tank. No roof penetrations. Flashing. It's there. Drip edge is considered flashing. No gutters. Roof structure looks great. No ventilation, no insulation. Vinyl siding is in good condition. There is some damage to the wood trim, which appears to be some woodpeckers. Recommend ceiling wood trim. Further, I don't know. No ceilings. Garage walls. Garage door comment. I like this. I want to put this at the top. I use it all the time. Check the grading. There's no vegetation. There's no panel. They are GFI protected. Find next. One automatic door. I'm not going to name the materials. That's it. That's all I got. Sayonara. Hope that helped.